Hello and welcome to Women Reclaiming Their Health. Thank you all for joining us for another session in the group. If you are catching us on the live, go ahead and click the StreamYard link and put your comment down so that we can see it and we will get to it. If you're catching us on the replay, go ahead and put your questions in as well. We'll still get to those at a later time. We have an amazing guest tonight, and I'll tell you about her in just a moment. But I just want to tell you my mission is to help and see all women win the war over their health despite their age, setbacks, and challenges. Okay, now let me get into my disclaimer. Any information obtained from this group is not a substitute for professional care to treat, cure, prevent disease or illness. Now, Radiance Thompson. She is a Reiki Master, a spiritual coach, empowering empaths and highly sensitive women tapping into their gifts. In 2018, Radiance realized she was suffering from trauma, severe anxiety, and depression. Radiance used a combination of Reiki healing and counseling therapy to create the peace and confidence she needed to manifest a life that serves her. Radiance's own personal wellness journey inspired her to get a Reiki Master certification and start her spiritual coaching practice, Reiki with Radiance. Radiance has performed hundreds of Reiki sessions on empath and highly sensitive women in 3 continents, has been featured in podcasts and Voyage LA magazine. Radiance combines her bachelor's degree in biology from the University of California, Irvine, with spiritual tools to help empath and highly sensitive women create and maintain peace in their lives so that they can make heart-aligned decisions that serve their highest, best, and most authentic selves. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, help me give a clap it up warm welcome for Radiance Thompson.
Thank you.
Radiance, thank you for joining us tonight. Yes, your name Radiance. It's I've never met a Radiance. So anyway, you can tell us about the name if you want to, but tell us what you enjoy most about what you do, and just tell us about the whole Reiki healing for those that may need to know what that is.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much, Pam, for having me here. I truly appreciate you and your audience for listening to me, my story, and overall what Reiki healing can do for them. So, Reiki, what is it and what can it do for you? Overall, Reiki healing is basically an energy healing art form. Okay. It comes from Japan. And what it does is it helps you raise your vibration. Now, you've heard this a lot in the spiritual community. You've heard this word a lot. Oh, that person has good vibes or bad vibes, right? Well, vibration is actually a thing. It's a force. It's a signal basically that's sent out from your body to the universe. So, how do you raise your vibration? What does that even mean, right? Well, overall, we are all human beings, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. That's how I look at it. Okay, we have this beautiful light being that we all have, right? This just beautiful energy, and it's put into this human body in order for us to have this life experience. Now, overall, in order for you to really get the most out of your life experience, in order for you to have that peace, that life that you feel like you've co-created with the universe, a life that actually serves you, serves your best and highest self, has experiences that fills your heart with joy. In order for you to do that, you have to send signals to the universe from your vibration, from your spiritual being, from the light that resides within you. And the universe responds. The universe responds with good relationships. The universe responds with good jobs. The universe responds with good opportunities, with good experiences, with people that we love to be around, with people that actually help us become better versions of ourselves. But that has to happen first within you, right? You have to have that light within you first. You have to have that awareness of who you are as a spiritual being, having that human experience. Right? And how you get to that point where you're sending vibrations to the universe that respond in a way that is wholesome so that way you can have the life of your desires is for you to have peace and love and happiness within yourself first, right? A lot of times we go and we look for things that give us peace and happiness. If I buy this car, it'll make me happy. If I lose 20 pounds, it'll make me happy. If I have this relationship, it'll make me happy. And it gives moments of happiness, but long-term discord, if anything, because that thing that you were searching for wasn't really what you needed. What you needed was that peace and harmony and balance within yourself first. And excuse me if you hear my kids in the background. There you go. There you go. So Recce helps you get back to that peace and harmony and balance, right? It helps you understand, how can I be my own light? How can I shine in a way that serves me and attracts the experiences, the people, and the opportunities that I want in my life? So Recce helps you get your light back. Recce helps you understand, okay, how did I get to this point where I started attracting the things that I didn't want? Where I started to have a string of bad luck. I understand that that's a common term, bad luck or good luck, but really I don't necessarily believe in luck. I believe in things that have either come to your life or things that have repelled from your life for whatever reason, but ultimately because of your own vibration of whatever is you're doing. Now, always there is free will. You can't control what someone else is doing or what someone else may do and how that affects your life. But overall, Recce healing helps you understand, how can I take control of my experiences, my life, how I am feeling, and how that's ultimately sending out to the universe signals of what I want in my life. So Recce overall helps you understand how to create peace, how to create balance, how to create harmony within you, how to get your light shining in a way where you attract the life that you want and you manifest the life that you want, and you ultimately get to lead a life of purpose and ultimately fulfill your mission as a person having a spiritual, a human experience in a spiritual. Hold on, I said that incorrectly. Having a human experience with your spiritual body here on earth. I know that was a lot.
No, that's great. You broke it down really nicely. So, and you were pretty transparent, in telling us about, the trauma, the depression, anxiety that you had, and a lot of us suffer in silence with that. So, what was it like for your journey? Did it take you, a long time to get healing? I mean, I know healing is an ongoing, continuous journey. What was that journey like for you? Well, just even discovering that, hey, I got to be able to do something here if I want to get, to the next level. I can't stay stuck in this,
Yes. So if I'm being completely honest, I started to realize, I was eating my feelings. I was literally eating my feelings. I mean, I just grabbed something in the refrigerator. Sometimes I wasn't even hungry, but I just wanted to feel whole again. So I started to stuff my face to feel whole again. But the more I stuffed my face, the more I realized I still wasn't whole. And I was just gaining all of this weight. I got so I'm 5'2", 5'3" on a good day, but overall I'm 5'2 3/4. And I got to a point where my doctor told me that I was almost considered obese. Oh, I heard something in the back. Okay. Yeah, I was almost considered obese. And then I was like, okay, like this, something needs to change. Something needs to change about my own well-being, because I am trying to compensate for how I don't feel with food. Right? I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of depression. Sometimes I'd go completely, I think, just especially after my second daughter, that postpartum blues, it's real. And then all the responsibilities I had as a single mom of now 2 kids, it was just everything just kept on compounding. And it felt like I was in a dark hole. I felt like I was sinking. I wasn't able to really concentrate at work. I wasn't able to fully show up for my kids. I wasn't showing up for myself. I kept on attracting things and people and experiences I really didn't want. So I realized I was really depressed and I had a lot of anxiety. So I took 3 months off of my job to handle my depression. I went to depression classes and those helped. But what really helped me was going to a counselor where I can talk to that counselor one-on-one about, whatever I need to talk to him about. And I also did a lot of Recce healing. I went to Recce healing for over a year. At least, I want to say twice, but once at the bare minimum, but twice a month sometimes for over a year. And that just changed my whole outlook and perception of life. I mean, I went from anxiety, depression, low confidence, no self-worth, no anything really. I mean, I was just a walking ball of despair. I was so sad all the time. And I went from that to having more confidence, having more sense of self-worth. I mean, I had lost quite a bit of weight after I stopped eating my feelings. So it's just been a transition of understanding, okay, this is why I have anxiety. This is why I have depression. And then that went away. And then now it became, okay, I'm starting to understand that without the anxiety, I can really feel and understand people's energies. I could understand where people are coming from. People are coming to me with, hey, I feel this way or I feel that way. They're just, in a sense, like just, how can you help me fix me kind of thing. Those types of conversations that happened more and more frequently. So as I healed myself with Reiki healing, I noticed that people that were on the part of the journey that I once was started to come to me. And then I was like, okay, well, I know what can help you. So that's what made me get my certification in Reiki healing. And then I ultimately became a Reiki Master. And then now I'm helping people understand their anxiety, understand where it comes from, and then tackle it bit by bit. And then once they tackle the core of their anxiety and depression, they start to realize that, hey, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And they start to realize, hey, we all have gifts. We all have a purpose. We all have a mission. And it just starts to avalanche, snowball, is a better word, from there.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And that led me to my next question. Like, who, is your avatar? Well, what does your typical client look like? Yeah.
So who I love to serve is the woman. And when I say women, I include non-binary women as well. So I spell women with an X. So women, but women if you identify as a woman as well. I serve women who know that they have a path. They know that they have a purpose, but they don't know how to use their multiple purposes to cultivate what their mission is here on earth, how to create a mission-based life where they're serving people with their spiritual gifts. It's one thing to say I'm an empath. That's the community that I serve. I have an empowered empath group that you're part of, Pam. But it's one thing to just know that you're an empath. And it's another thing to say, hey, I'm an empath. I have a great intuition. I know when things are about to happen. I can feel and sense people's energies. People come to me with their problems and I help them solve it. People feel like they're better after they're with me. That's part of the journey. Now, how do I understand how my gifts can be put together in a way where I am doing what I'm meant to do and I'm helping people along the way? And hey, maybe if I'm monetized for it, even better. There's an energetic exchange that occurs when you're helping someone with a gift that took you years to develop, or maybe it didn't take you years to develop. Some people have that ability just to tap in, but they don't know how to put it all together. Like, how do I help people with all of the things that I know how to do, right? So I help empath women understand how to develop their gifts in a way that serves them, serve their highest and best self, and also so they can help people become their best version of themselves with spirituality.
Awesome. So why do you think it's so hard for, some of us to get back into balance, when we're under attack by, external, circumstances that sometimes we have no control over, but still, regardless, it, shifts us out of balance. Like, why do you think it's so hard for us to, find a way back, to normalcy?
So a lot of times what happens is when we're going through things, this is getting me out of balance, whether it be at my job, right? Today, I had an okay day at my job. I'm not, nothing was necessarily bad until everyone got this mass email from our director saying that he was upset and he was blaming our department pretty much for all the things that were happening in our job. And often we will take those things in, and we'll let it affect us throughout the day, and it will continue. Not even just that day, it will continue. You'll be sitting there and it'll fester within you. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that person said this and that. I can't believe that that she did this and she did that. It'll just be an ongoing conversation. You're feeding into the problem. We don't realize how often we feed into the problem instead of trying to understand a solution and how to separate ourselves from the problems. That way we can be geared toward understanding a better solution and continue on that path. We get so focused on the negative, and it's inherent. Like, you'll notice it even with, if you watch social media, something negative, everyone wants to talk about something negative. Everyone wants to talk about it. But yet when you start a business, no one likes your comments, and likes your post, right? It's positive, but yet no one likes it because we're so geared on focusing on the negative. And that's what we do. We focus on it instead of saying, okay, this negative thing happened, and did it happen to me or did it happen for me? What is the lesson that I can take from what has happened to me? What can I take from this, and how can it help me make sure that I create solutions if this same lesson presents itself again? Because it's not really a problem, it's a lesson. And it's a lesson for you to be prepared for another level in your life that you probably wouldn't have been prepared for if you didn't have that lesson come to you in the first place. So one thing is making sure you recognize it as a lesson and not a problem, not focusing on the problem and focusing more on the solution. And another thing that you can do is calibrate yourself. So what does that mean? So Abe Hicks talks about calibration. He talks about segment intending. He talks about a lot of things about really getting into a place where you feel whole, where you feel happy, where you feel at peace in your inner being first. And no matter what external things happen, calibrating yourself to those feelings and emotions first at the beginning of your day is what will prevent you from allowing those external circumstances to penetrate your vibrational field. So if you for example, you put your oven on 400, right? Put your oven on 400. You're at 400 until you open up the oven and until you let all the heat out. So what happens is we're walking around, we're calibrating ourselves to these positive feelings and emotions. We're affirming ourselves. We're telling ourselves we're going to have a good day. But yet, as soon as we open ourselves up to the world, we allow all of these external things that aren't under our control to penetrate our field. And then next thing you know, our temperature goes down. Next thing you know, we're starting to feel bad about ourselves. We're starting to take on problems that aren't meant for us to take on. So what Abe Hicks talks about, and what I believe is actually very effective, is understanding how to calibrate yourself, how to set your temperature to 400 and keep it at 400 no matter what happens, right? So it's about calibrating yourself in a way where you create the peace and harmony within yourself in your own personal vibrational field, so that way you attract that, and you, in a sense, repel other external factors that would not serve that initial calibration that you set for yourself.
Awesome. So, and that even kind of ties back into affirmations and, being intentional as well, right?
Right. And one thing I want to say about affirmations, because you brought up a good point, a lot of people do affirmations, a lot of people do intentions. And those are great. Those are great starting points, especially if you're in the beginning of your spiritual journey, or if you're beginning of understanding the power of positive intentions. However, if you're affirming yourself and if you don't believe it, if you're just saying words and speaking them into existence and not believing it and not calibrating your spiritual body, not calibrating your inner being to actually believing that it will happen for you, then you're just, I guess the best word would be, it's just a crap shot in the wind. It's just, you're saying empty words. They have no meaning. And the universe can read between our BS. If we're just saying things, but the universe senses in our heart that we don't believe it, we don't feel it, it's not really what we've calibrated ourselves to believe and feel about ourselves, you can't BS the universe, because the universe responds to frequency, and the frequency of our feelings has to be met first within ourselves in order for the universe to respond to how we feel about ourselves. So affirming and believing are two different things.
Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for that. Now I want to go ahead and look at the comments. We have someone saying great information. Janine says hi. Somebody
Hi.
else says they love your spirit. They love your head wrap. Okay. I know, right? Okay. So you always get into the questions on that. So, but guys, if you're on, please continue to ask your questions. I know it's late. Hey, it's pajama night reloaded. So if everybody's up, if you pop in and out, I'll be checking the comments off and on. Now, Radiance, would you mind to share with us a success story that you have experienced with a client?
Yes, absolutely. So I have a few actually, and that makes me super excited to say, because I started this business last year, and you don't always see, how it's going to happen or what's going to happen, and who, you just don't always know. But when you start to see the growth, it feels wonderful to know that you're helping people in a way that serves you and serves them. So that being said, I have a few examples. When I first started with people that had anxiety, because I knew that I had anxiety when I first started my journey with Recce. So I started with anxiety, started with depression, started with people that had a lot of trauma. And with the people that had a lot of trauma, anxiety, and depression, we did a lot of Recce. It was just a lot of this full-blown Recce healing and spiritual coaching, but a lot of time was spent on Recce healing. And with one of my first clients, she knew she had a gift. She knew that there was something, but she just couldn't figure out what it was. Once again, she just knew there was something. She knew she had multiple purposes, but she didn't know how to put it all together. She didn't know how to cultivate it into one overall mission, right? After 3 months of working together, she started to have dreams of her ancestors. She started to have visions of her family members. And her grandpa was actually able to answer a question that her family needed him to answer for a long time. Like one of those things where he passed away before some certain life things were handled. And he was able to give her the information that she needed, that her family needed, and it solved like a decades-long problem. So there was that. And it was because she was able to truly connect with her inner being. I mean, she did a lot of inner healing, inner child healing, a lot of that because she needed it. A lot of inner child healing. She did a lot of really shadow work and understanding, okay, how did I get to this place so I can know what to do and where I'm going, right? She did a lot of that, and that really helped her. And you could see, like, as someone who works a lot with spirituality, you could just see the difference in her gifts just by looking in her face. So that was one of my first clients. Another client of mine, she had a lot of anxiety, depression. She had gone through quite a bit of childhood trauma. And she, after working with me for 3 months, she started her own business, something that she wanted to do, but now had the belief to do it, had the confidence to do it. Her dream empath gifts heightened. So she's now at home with her kids, working on her business. And before she was in the corporate world, not very happy. So she's been able to really build something for herself just because she has that confidence now that she could do it. And her gifts have heightened because of all the Recce. I mean, we did a lot of intense Recce. She did the Recce, she did the work, she showed up for herself, and she changed her life, really. So that was one. And then another client of mine, she's actually become one of my really good friends. She was very afraid of her gifts because she didn't know how it was going to affect her family. You start to up level, you start to change, you start to develop more of who you are, and you don't know the aftermath. You don't know who's going to respond, and if it's going to be in a way that you like. You just don't know what's going to happen as you start to level yourself up and become really who you're meant to be. So she was afraid that it was going to change the dynamic of her family. And after working with me for some time, she was afraid at one point to do a lot of spirituality in her coaching practice. She was a health coach, and she's still a health coach, but now she incorporates tarot cards in her health coach practice. Now she talks about a lot more alignment. Now she also does healing meditations, and her meditations are on point. I mean, she had me releasing. So she's transitioned because she did the work, showed up, and also because she wanted to. And there's a big difference between, hey, I have these gifts, but I don't want them, and hey, I have these gifts and I want to see what can happen with them. And she wanted to see what could happen, and she is living and breathing in her purpose and ultimately her mission as a health coach and almost, I don't know if she wants to call herself this, but in a sense, she's becoming a spiritual advisor as well. And finally, one of my clients, she is absolutely gifted, super gifted. You can look at her and you can see the gifts in her eyes. And she didn't understand how to put everything together. And that's what I noticed when I work with people that are like, I don't know exactly how to put the puzzle pieces together and help people in the way that I want to help them, but also in the way that they need me. And finally, she's at that point where she believes, hey, I have these gifts. I can be monetized for my gifts. People can be helped by me. And she's actually going to be doing a Facebook Live in my Empowered Empath and Highly Sensitive Women group on Monday. Her name is Denise, and she is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm super glad. And we're still working together in my group program, in my Ascension Accelerator Academy program. And she has grown so much. And in all honesty, we have these gifts waiting for us to tap into them. And it's just about us believing that they're there and waiting for us. You can do all the exercises, you can do all the trainings, and I have all of that. But if you don't believe it will happen for you, and if you don't want it to happen for you, then it won't. And she believed it finally. And I think that was the biggest transition for her, her belief in her spiritual gifts. And it's beautiful to be a part of it.
Wow. Thank you for sharing those. Wow. Okay. Y'all listening? Okay. All right. So, Radiance, what would you say sets you apart from other spiritual healers out here?
The biggest thing, and I want to say this in a way that is understood. So a lot of times, especially, when it comes to spirituality, I have been attacked. I've been told that I'm crazy, that what I'm talking about is spiritual mumbo jumbo, that it's, nonsense, BS, whatever. That's fine. You can think whatever you want, but it's not nonsense. It's not BS. It is facts. But in our Western world, especially, we're starting to catch up to Eastern way of thinking about our spirituality and our way of life, but we're still very Western in our thinking. We want facts, we want data, we want science. So, as someone who has went to school for science, as you mentioned earlier when you were reading my bio, I've been to school for biological sciences. I have a degree in it. I have a bachelor's degree, and I've done research. I've had fellowships. I've done research presentations at the national, state, and local level. So I combine my spirituality with science, so that way people can see facts. They can see facts with the spirituality. They can see the woo-woo with the science. So they can say, hey, this woo-woo is fact-based. It is not me just giving you things and saying, here, take it for what I'm telling you. It's based off of science. Yes, it's also based off of you wanting to believe it can happen for you. That's the basis really of anything. But the fact that there's science and spirituality, it bridges the gap for a lot of people that don't believe in spirituality without something that is tangible, without something that says, hey, this is data that is proving that what I'm saying is really happening. So that's what sets me apart. I combine the science and the spirituality, and I care a whole lot, that more than anything, really, because I've been on the journey. I've been depressed. I've been someone who had anxiety. I had no self-worth. It was a journey. And I know how to get from point A to point where I'm at now. I don't even know what letter I'm at, but I know I'm far from where I was. And it's because of spirituality.
Mm-hmm. Wow, great. We are going to take a pause and look at questions here. Someone is asking, what do you do to heal yourself when experiencing stress? What do you do?
What do I do? Or
Mhm.
well, so there's a few things that you can do when it comes to stress on an energetic level. One thing that you can do is you can balance your chakras. And a lot of times, you have to go to a healer for that, but you can also do some things at home. Okay, so because your chakras, there's 7 major chakras, and there's actually quite a few more. There's secondary and minor chakras within your body. There's over 30 chakras actually, but the 7 major ones, what you can do, so you can use your left hand. This is your left hand. This is my left hand. Probably looks right on your screen, but this is my left hand. You can go over your chakras in a counterclockwise motion for 2 minutes. And then here is my right hand. You'll go over each chakra over your hand with your right hand for 1 minute. So if you do your left hand for 2 minutes, you'll do your right hand for 1 minute. You'll do your left hand for counterclockwise 2 minutes. You'll do your right hand clockwise 1 minute. Okay, you go over each chakra, and what that's going to do is going to help you balance your chakras. A lot of times what people don't realize is that imbalance causes you to have the stress and causes you not to be able to handle situations that you would otherwise be able to handle if your body's energy was flowing correctly. So getting your body's energy to flow in a way that serves you first can help you understand and discern a stressful situation from a situation that you could handle if your energy was flowing in a way that served you, right? Because if you're already at a lower vibration, if you're already at a plateau or at a base of where your vibration is, if you're already feeling low and then you're trying to handle, life, of course it's going to feel stressful, right? You're not in your optimal state. So there's one way. And that is a meridian-based practice. Okay, so there's that. Another thing that you can do, and I want to make sure I recall this, but one thing that you can do when it comes to stress, hold on, I lost my wording. One thing that you can do when it comes to stress is ask yourself questions. Okay, ask yourself, why is this situation causing me to feel this way? Often what we don't realize is that the stressful situation and what it's making us do in our body, or what that feeling that it's making us feel in our body, is a result of some stressful or traumatic situations perhaps that have happened in the past. Right? So here you go. Here's like a stress inducer. It's reminding you of something that has happened in the past. It's reminding you of a situation that maybe hurt you, and then it becomes stress. So that's something called shadow work, understanding if it's really something that's a part of you that you have to handle, right? Understanding if it's really some sort of past trauma that you have to give more attention to. So asking yourself deep questions, asking yourself, is this really my feeling? Does this belong to me? Where is this feeling coming from? Being 100 with yourself is very important too. And that, I feel, is one of the biggest parts, one of the hardest parts is, hey, am I being real with myself when I'm asking myself these questions? Or am I playing victim and putting it on someone else? Right? So stress, I feel, can be managed if we ask ourselves the right questions and if we understand how to move energy properly in our body.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So basically, like, once it comes our way, we're, our reaction to it wouldn't be in such a way to where would stress us out, because we know that stress can lead to, a multitude of health issues, as you probably see as well in your line of work. Um, the fallout of stress, and
Right.
once it overtakes you. So would you mind to share with us some of your offerings? I know you have some specials right now for Black History Month, some promotions that you have. We have a couple more days left in the month, guys. So just go ahead and dive right into those if you wouldn't mind.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Pam. I truly appreciate you allowing me to do that. So right now, I do have a Recce session special in honor of Black History Month. Typically, I have Recce sessions that are $197, but in honor of Black History Month, I'm doing the sessions for $47. So it's $150 off. Big steal, big steal. And if it's okay with you, Pam, I'll be sharing the link for how you can schedule that. So what does Recce do for you? I feel like I've explained it a lot in this talk, but I will reiterate it. It helps with anxiety. It helps with depression, chronic pain. It can also help you with inner child healing, helping you understand more about who you are, some clarity, some focus, some balance. And if you are on a spiritual path and you're wanting to dive deeper into your spiritual gifts, it can absolutely help you activate your spiritual gifts in a way where you literally become a different person. I can't say it enough. I became a different person because of Recce healing, but I was consistent and I did the work. And with Recce healing, if you do it, you can move mountains. So $47 for a Recce session right now in honor of Black History Month, and it ends March 1st. So hop on that because 8 spots have already been sold, and I'm only giving a limited amount of these in honor of, once again, of Black History Month.
Awesome. So I know you're going to put all the links down, but can you give your information now for someone that may want to go ahead and, pull it up right now before you put the links in? Can you give your website or, Instagram or whatever?
Sure. So I do have an Empowered Empath and Highly Sensitive Women group. So once again, I said it earlier, how I spell women is WOMXN. WOMXN. So Empowered Empath and Highly Sensitive Women with an X group. So I have that group on Facebook. Currently building my website. So right now, the best place to reach me is that Empowered Empath group. And also, I will be sharing my Calendly link so you can schedule your $47 Recce session in honor of Black History Month as well.
Awesome. So guys, you also want to look at getting into her group as well, because I have grown so much and learned so much, and the connection with the ladies is also strong as well. So yeah, so if there are no other questions, everyone, I want to thank you for jumping on for this pajama night chat with us Friday night. So ladies, go ahead and hit up Reiki Master Radiance. Okay, so, and please feel free to check out the replay and go back and listen to this. And she will also put her information down as well as her group. She will attach the links as well. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. Health is the new wealth.
Thank you